Flosstube! Welcome back. My name is Alyssa Jones, also known as AJ Stitch on Instagram, and this is my channel about cross stitch with a little bit of other crafting. And today I'm here to give you some updates on what I've been doing so far this March. I think the last time I filmed was either the last day of February or March 1st. So today I get to show you all of my updates. Also, you'll notice there is no sleeping cat, which means they are awake and around. So hopefully they don't bump into things like I'm watching one try to do right now. And that was the sound of Peanut getting annoyed with Mercury, who you may get to meet. That was Mercury too. She's very loving and rubbed her nose on things. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, Darcy, I hear you. You will see that I have listened and the peer pressure has worked. Thank you. If you're not watching Darcy Cameron, you need to check out his channel and enjoy all of his stitching enthusiasm. Also, I did participate in the Steel City Stitchers March Stitchy Madness. That's Mercury. She's a good kitty. That's Apollo's sister. I found her in the garden. She's a nice kitty though. A little strange. I guess everybody is. So I'm going to start by showing you my first project to get knocked off of my March Stitchy Madness bracket. If you'd like to know more about March Stitchy Madness, you need to go to the Steel City Stitchers videos. And like 3 videos ago, they go into it in detail. This is my bracket. I have not put up my vote yet for the championship match. So I have to do that tonight. They both have been stitched on, and that's got to go on Instagram. It was supposed to go up today, or for today, and I didn't get it. But it's okay, because I probably won't have time to stitch it yet. But you can see that each day I started something or worked on a whip. I had chosen 4 spring new starts and 4 spring whips, and it worked out. So then the second round, it was whip versus whip, or no, it was new start versus new start, and then it was whip versus whip, and then I ended up with a new start versus a whip, and I don't know yet who won, but you'll see all my progress. So I have them organized by who got knocked out first, and from there on. So the first pattern that got knocked out was Spring Has Sprung by Cottage Needleworks, and I had started this last year, and I got a little bit more done. I got Sprung and the bunny and the flowers stitched, and I wanted to keep going. But it didn't win, and if you don't win, I have to set you aside for something else. So that is on, I think it's like a piece of 32 count, like Silvery Moon Lugana. It's not an hand-dyed linen, it's just a regular piece, probably Michelle, Zweigart. I think it's Zweigart. I don't remember which one I like, but it's one of those. The next one that got knocked out was Spring Bird by Heart and Hand, and this one's so close to done. I was kind of glad it got knocked out because I would have finished it very quickly, and it might still get finished for the spring because I don't have very many finished pieces. And you can see I just have a little bit more nest and the cracks on the egg and the word spring. So it's so close. And this is a 32 count. It is dyed, but I don't know by who. This was before I was keeping track of anything at all. And then I started Lizzie Kate's. I started 2 Lizzie Kate's. The first one I started was Spring String, which looks like this. And I had changed colors to just colors I pulled from Stash, and I showed them last time. And my start on it was not very big. I got the A, the bunny started, and the C. So I would have finished the bunny next. But that is on a 32 count Crystal Coastal. And on the same piece of linen, I started Spring Smalls by Lizzie Kate, and I was working on the spring pillow, although I won't finish it as a pillow. And all I got done is part of the S, which was so pretty already. Let's see if we can get the color pretty good here. Yeah, that's pretty true. It's a nice bright blue. And I was loving the pink flowers on it, although I did have to take them out once. so that's why I didn't get further. I had stitched all the pink flowers, and then 2 of the pink flowers are wrong. I took them out and redid them, so I got a little double stitching practice. The next one that was knocked off my bracket was Hello Spring by Plum Street Samplers, and I did end up going up into my craft space and finding some colors to switch out to because I didn't have all the called for colors. And my start on it looks like this. The bunny looks like it blends into the linen, but I really like how primitive it is. And his eye and his little ear highlighting made him pop a little bit, so I think his little bunny butt will show up all right too. And that's as far as I got. I got to work on this one 2 days during March Stitchy Madness, so it was going really well, and I actually thought that this one was going to move on again. But it didn't. Didn't get enough votes. So the next one that got knocked out was Wild Berries by Blackbird Designs, and this one also got 2 days during March Stitchy Madness, and I was loving it. There's just something about how this one was going. I did so much of the bird. It's a pretty thin linen. Let me put the pattern behind it so you can see a little better. And I got some of the leaves done and the over 1 letters, more of those. But he was just filling in so nicely. And I was just enjoying working with those colors. And how like you could see the wing and the variegation was different than his belly. I just love him. He's cute. But alas, he did not win. So it came down to these 2, and these 2 have both been worked on 3 times since March Stitchy Madness began. This one was the brand new start, and so this is up for voting, and I'll put it up tonight when I'm done my video. And it is Spring Hare by Lottie Da. Brand new start. I'm actually kind of impressed with how much I ended up getting done, because I have had stitching attention problems lately, and you'll see that in a minute. But look at him. I don't know if you can tell that those letters and his bow tie are really pretty teal blue. I can't quite get the color true. It's getting really washed out. Maybe like that. I love it. And I did 310, and my blue color is, oh, I guess it's more of a green, meadow green. Maybe that's why I can't get it to look blue. It's because it's green. And I just love how springy and happy that is. So he's going up against a big one. And I remember when I filmed last time, I was worried that this was a big pattern. And I thought, well, I'll put it in there. And nobody's probably going to vote for it because all the other ones are so cute. And everybody will definitely vote for a cute little one for me. No, that's not how you work. So it's on a piece of, I don't know, probably 32 count linen that I don't know what kind it is. And it's the pattern Spring by the Cricket Collection. And before I started this, I had only gotten to these sunflowers and they weren't done over here. But since then I've gotten most of the eye done. So there's quite a roof on top of this birdhouse and a couple little robins to stitch in. But it's coming along pretty nicely. There's just a lot more to do because there's the N and the G, and they are not little letters. So if he wins, I'm going to have to really focus to get that one done by the end of March. So while I'm looking at this pattern, Darcy Cameron put on his video this week that he had started using floss away bags. And I thought I would take a second to show how I use my floss away bags because this is the only project I'm using them for. Sorry about the furnace. It's only 20 degrees out. It's really sunny, but it's only 20, so the furnace is going to run more than I could squeeze my videos in between. So when I use my floss away bags, I only put 1 color in a bag. And I write the color on it, and I take the DMC, I take it and stretch it all out and cut it into lengths. And so this bag has a little bit that I've already used from one of the lengths, and then the rest of the lengths are in here curled up together, and when it's time for me to get out a new one, I just straighten it out and take a new one apart and pull what I need to stitch with off. That's how I do it. I've seen much nicer, neater floss away bags than mine with index cards in them and all these nice ways to keep it organized, but mine are just color in a bag. I will say these are not my favorite way to store floss. I'm really a bobbinator at heart. It's probably because I have all of my mom's old bobbinated floss and it just works out easier for me. I'm pretty comfortable with that method. The bags are nice, but I don't know. I don't even like the slipperiness of them. It's just a little fussier than I'm ready for. But that is how I use them, if that's at all helpful to anybody out there. Enjoy. So, besides that, I've worked on a few other stitching projects. One of them, I'm sorry if you watch all my videos, because here we are again. Still not done. I feel like I've barely even made progress, but working on the snowy chalk full jar. I'm currently averaging about 15 minutes twice a week on it, and so I'm getting so close. Like that right there is the bottom of the blue on the jar. So maybe this week I'll finish at least the blue. It's just endless. And I did receive a great comment from a viewer who said, put it away, get out spring. And I would, but I don't even have my spring colors set and ready yet. So now I'm just, still plowing through. And it is still technically spring for a few more days. So maybe that will be the kick I need to get it done. I don't know. It's just the never-ending project because I don't get enough time to stitch on it like I used to. So then I also worked a little bit on my Fruits of Plenty sampler, which is it's not really a mystery. It's a monthly stitch-along released by Modern Folk Embroidery, and he does have great videos to go watch. And I'm doing mine because you can use his recommended colors. You can do all one color. I decided to go with two, and I went with 502 and 928. I like those pale greenish blues. And thank you everyone who supported my idea of having a sampler wall. This was the January square, and this is the February, and it's, I think, close to 70% done. Thank you, Pattern Keeper. And I'm hoping to make myself work on it so that I can at least get March started while it's still March. We're getting there. I'm seeing progress. And when I do stitch on it, a couple threads goes really far. So it is a fun stitch. I highly recommend that one. The other project I've worked on is mainly due to Peer Pressure by Darcy Cameron. However, I love it. I can't believe how much I love it. And part of that is the fact that I'm using Pattern Keeper. But this is, you know what? I didn't even grab my phone to show you a picture of it. And I haven't printed a picture of it. I'll pause and go get that. Okay, so I can't figure out the pause button on this because it's my first time filming with this device and I can't quite figure it out. But I'm hoping to be able to edit this. And I was saying that I had started Mini Sunflower House, which is artwork by Donna Gelsinger, and it was charted by Michelle Sayetta. And those colors, like, it was so happy, and I need this happiness because I live in a very great part of upstate New York. So I started it, and I just didn't know I was going to love working on a Hade using Pattern Keeper. I have a small Hade started. I know I haven't shown it yet. I'm just not ready. And I was using highlighters and paper and the parking method, and that's rough, especially with how much confetti I was hitting. It just wasn't fun. But I have started Mini Sunflower House, and you can see I officially have the top 4 rows done. And these are little heart-shaped clouds, and this is a stem, and that's the tip of an umbrella, and I'm just having so much fun, and I love getting out new colors. And my kind of method here is I started right here, and I start with this color, and I did as much as I could. And then I went over one to the next color that showed up, and I did as much as I could. And I kept doing that, and then because I'm using the Easy Grid 25 count, I was able to easily jump down when that color was used again, if I had extra on my needle, and I just kept working across this way, and I seriously go row by row, and whichever color is the next stitch that's available in the next row, that's what I've been stitching. So I'm about to start a huge heart-shaped cloud, and I'm pretty excited because it involves a lot of different colors than what I've been using. And I love seeing how it grows. I don't know, there's something about it. Like, I don't know, can you see how many colors are in that little tiny stem? That's a lot of fun colors. And this is not a big one, this is the entire top. So I've gotten all the way across it. And I'm just working through it on my Q-snap. One thing that I do love is right now on the back, because I'm just carrying threads because it's a Hare and you really can't tell, is how the back looks a bit like a nautilus shell. Do you see that? It's so fun and funky. Otherwise, it's pretty neat. It's definitely not terribly messy like it could be, but it's going nicely. So that's my start on Mini Sunflower House. This is why I have not made as much progress on Fruits of Plenty. This is why I'm a day off on my Hallmark Stitchy Madness bracket, because this is what I feel like stitching. We'll see if I'm able to set it aside long enough to actually make progress on my other projects. I don't know if I will. And for that one, I bought the colors because I knew I wouldn't have them all, and anything extra I had, I knew I could reuse because it's DMC. And I am bobbinating that one as I go, and this is kind of what my box looks like. There was no way I have the attention span to just sit there and wind floss 90 colors of it. No way. So I just bobbinate as I go, and I'm pretty happy with that method. And I put them in numerical order in my box, so they're pretty easy to find. And a couple colors they didn't have at Michael's, but I was able to rob my own stash for them, and it's going all right. One color I knew I only needed, thanks to Pattern Keep, for like 165 stitches, and so I only stole a couple lengths from a different project because it was in there ready. It's actually from the Sprung one that was in the little baggies. So that's what I've been working on in my stitching. I'm behind on so many things because I've been so distracted. I need to work on my Fruits of Plenty. I haven't touched my Whip Go projects even once. I have to do my part of my Christmas list that I haven't worked on yet. And I did give myself the month off from working on my Whip Go projects that like I'd been doing every morning, because I just kind of have a lot going on right now. So I need to rein it in a bit. I also have done a tiny bit of knitting, and I've been working on the Hermione Everyday Socks, which is a pattern you can get for free, I think, on Ravelry. And I finished the first sock. Oh, it's such a pretty color. This sock led me to make a cake that was covered in sprinkles because it just looks like cake when you're knitting this yarn, like a funfetti cake. So I made funfetti cake and put white frosting on it. And then I had a bag of those fancy sprinkles, and I covered it with the fancy sprinkles, which, I mean, in theory, it was really beautiful. But it actually was kind of a crunchy cake. A lot of sprinkles. And they ended up everywhere. In the kitchen, on the floor, under the stove. It was a mess. But there's my little heel. It was my first time doing a garter edge slip stitch heel. And this is a modified slip stitch, so that, I don't know why, but it's a nice little heel. And I'm always excited to learn new heels. And then the bottom is all stockinette, bottom of the foot, and then the top has the little pattern. So I'm very happy with that. And I've actually started the second sock and turned the heel and picked up the gusset stitches. No, picked up the heel flap stitches and started making the gusset. So you can see that's making it smaller so that it wraps around your foot nice. And that's getting much farther. This yarn is by That Yarn Habit, and it's called, I think it's in here. This is called Flawless Queen Charlotte by That Yarn Habit. And it is a 80% merino, 20% nylon blend in a fingering weight. And I'm stitching it on US size 1s, which are the 2.25 millimeter 9-inch needles. And I just have a set of 1 double pointeds in the bag too for when I get to the toe. I do keep it on the double pointeds when I do the heel flap. It doesn't bother me very much. I know some people find it finicky and fussy and they switch to double pointeds, but I didn't. I've got this one little bump here that I always feel, but I think it's just going to work itself out. So I'm hoping to finish those by the end of this week because I really want to start using this yarn by that yarn habit. And this is Diamond of the First Water, which is also part of their Bridgerton collection. But I love how bright that green gets. See that, like limey green into this dark, bright blend. It made me kind of think of shamrocks and spring greens. And I can't wait to start a pair. But I haven't chosen which sock pattern I'm going to use or anything like that. But I'm probably going to ball that up just so it's ready. And then also in my little world here, I've been doing some reading. I finished One by One, which was that Avalanche book that I showed you 2 videos ago. And I actually went through like serious feelings of guilt with that book because I would put it down and then I was falling asleep too early and not reading it. And I felt terrible for those characters that I was leaving in crisis situations. And so I had to finish it. And one day, like I think it was a Sunday or Saturday, I just sat down and read the rest of it. And it was good. It was a good book. It was a little lighter than what I'm reading now. So I started The Vanishing Half by Britt Brennett. And this book, at first, it was a slow start for me because I had just come from a very fast-paced book. But this book has amazing character development. It has wrapped me up in the story. It's hard for me to put it down right now to Stitch, but I love reading a hardcover book too. So I can't do both of those at the same time yet. I might be able to knit and read a hardcover book, but I haven't tried. I've just been letting myself sit down and enjoy this story. And the story attacks some big issues and gives you a glimpse into a life that for me was much harder and difficult than the life that I've lived. And I think it's very important that we always learn about how other people live. But it is lovely so far. I'm enjoying it. And it did get the Book of the Year award for the Book of the Month Club. So lots of people enjoyed it, and I kind of see why. So that's where I'm at. I hope everybody's good. I hope everybody's healthy. I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers, so I've started doing some collecting of things and some ordering of things because I'm going to do a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I really do appreciate everybody who watches, everybody who comments, everybody who encourages. Oh, you're just so delightful. And you make making a Flosstube video so much fun because I'm always excited to see what you guys think, and also like just hearing that I've enabled you or knowing that you all inspire me. I think that brings our community tighter and tighter, and it's just a happy place to be. So thanks for being a part of my happy place. Please, keep watching Flosstubes. If you've been hesitating to make one, maybe this is what you need, but do it. It's really fun. And you get to know these people who make other Flosstube videos even better than you do from watching the videos. I highly recommend it. I hope everybody has a great week, and that if you're doing March Stitchy Madness, that you're able to work on that project you're supposed to finish by the end of the month. I've enjoyed voting on everybody's, and I'll be back in a couple weeks to give you an update. I don't think I'm quite to a 1-week schedule. The 2 weeks seems to work for all my progress so that I have actual content for you. And I think that's it for this week. Everybody take care. Bye!